Aussie Wellness Cookies from Dough Ventures, the cookies that make healthy taste good. The word cookie conjures the warmth and comfort of pleasant childhood memories. Dough Ventures wanted to create a range of cookies evoking this powerful imagery but meeting the modern-day demand for a healthy, convenient snack. Made with locally sourced Australian almonds and oat flour and sweetened with a blend of stevia and erythritol, the Aussie Wellness Cookie Range is a gluten-free, sugar-free snack high in fiber and antioxidants. We then flavor our wholesome base with a range of colorful, nutrient-rich ingredients inspired by the wellness rainbow. While Australian demand for the traditional Aussie bicky is on the decline, the health snack food market is forecast to grow to $2.3 billion Australian by 2023, and the healthy eating trend isn't limited to Australian customers. In Japan, the health snack food market is expected to be worth 767 billion yen, more than $9 billion Australian. Industry research revealed that while Arnott's and Green's Foods dominate the biscuit industry, there are no major players in the production of health snack foods, and smaller companies with a healthier focus like Select Harvest Limited have managed to capture some 4.3% of current industry revenue. Dough Ventures has set its Aussie Wellness Cookie Range the far more modest goal of capturing just 0.31% of the Australian market and 0.02% of the Japanese market when we expand operations there in year 5. Penetration of the Australian market relies heavily on leveraging the healthy eating trend, targeting health-conscious 20 to 50-year-olds with a focus on distinguishing our product as the healthy, tasty alternative to available snack options. Research also revealed benefits to focusing on a lucrative subset of our target demographic, the growing Asian population within Australia. As the company intends to leverage the trend of technology-enabled convenience and further distinguish itself by partnering with an established vending machine company, the popularity of vending machines throughout Asia makes the Asian-Australian demographic a natural niche for our products. Our vending partner, the Healthy Vending Company, will stock our cookie range in their hot vending machines in Eastern Australia's capital cities, targeting university campuses, health and fitness centers, hospitals, and upscale apartment communities in predominantly Asian areas. To further capitalize on technology and the personalization trend, Dough Ventures has created an app that allows customers to locate nearby vending machines, order and pay for cookies through the app, to collect pre-ordered cookies, and to include a custom message on the package. The app can also scan the stock package label and bring it to life with details of the health benefits of the cookie inside. The intention is for the app to generate consumer interest in sampling cookies from across the range, but it also provides useful information on customer preferences.
Dough Ventures commences operation in 2019, requiring an initial outlay of $675,000 to include investment in an automated cookie machine costing $400,000. This is the largest asset required and will be depreciated over its useful life in accordance with the ATO. Additional investment outlays include warehouse fit-out, cool room setup, and other IT-related costs. We commence operation in Australia and expand to Japan at the beginning of Year 5. Operating under a B2B model with the Healthy Vending Company supplying them to the consumer. Consumers can purchase our cookies via the BitQuick app or directly from the vending machine. Dough Ventures will split revenues 70-30, with the vending machine company receiving 30%. Within the partnership, the growth rate is affected by two key factors: increase in demand through market awareness, customer loyalty estimated at 20% annually, and growth through increased market exposure directly via vending machines. The vending company predicts an annual growth rate of 45%, making vending machine distribution the largest influencer of revenue. As we anticipate capturing just over 0.3% of the Australian market and 0.02% of the Japanese market, a bottom-up methodology was used to model revenues. Revenues in our first year of operation are estimated at $780,000 from sales within Australia. Year 5 revenues include sales from Japan and they are estimated at just over $9.2 million. Forecasts for sales growth have a significant impact on the ratio of fixed to variable costs on this project. In the first year of operation, fixed costs contribute to 69% of total outlay. By Year 5, fixed costs drop to 22% of our totals. Fixed costs include cost of location, salary-based wages, marketing and R&D. Variables primarily relate to cookie production expenses such as flour, eggs, packaging and shipping costs. In Year 4, salary and marketing costs do increase in preparation for expansion into Japan.
The table here shows the total amount of tax paid by Dough Ventures at the end of Year 5. For the purposes of this report, all revenue is subject to the Australian corporate tax rate of 30%. We note that Japan has a consumption tax similar to Australia's GST. However, in this instance, revenues and expenses for Japan have been modelled exclusive of this tax. We have assumed for the purposes of this report that any revenue generated in Japan will be paid in Australia and taxed at the Australian corporate tax rate. Assessable income has been calculated yearly and any losses have been accumulated to offset assessable income in future years.
Looking at the REIT associated with this project, we have used a 5-year model forecasting growth in perpetuity at 6%. Using a 30% discount rate, we have a positive NPV of just over $237,000 with a payback period of 3.79 years and an IRR of 37.13%. Independently, this suggests the project could go ahead. It is only after assessing risks via sensitivity analyses that project viability comes into question.
Developing the forecast for the project, it's become apparent that we have a number of key sensitivities that have the potential to greatly impact the viability of the project. The first is the sensitivity of the growth in cookie sales and growth in the number of machines by the vending machine partner. The table shows our projected NPV in the orange cell. Looking at these figures, it becomes apparent that if our cookie sales growth does not meet the forecast 20% and the partner vending machine expansion does not meet their expected 45% growth, then we quickly move into having a negative NPV. We have also analysed the impact of growth in sales versus our cookie cost. As outlined previously, we've used an average add-on cost to determine the cost of our cookie, as a sales mix by cookie type has not been determined. What happens if there is an increase in the base cost or one of the higher costing cookies is our best seller? With a base cookie cost of 35 cents, this analysis shows us that we have a 10-cent increase in our base cookie cost. There would be a greater than 50% negative impact on our NPV. If we also did not meet our sales growth of 20% and the cookies cost us more than expected, we would soon be into the negative NPV range. The current vending machine commission is set at 30% of revenue. We analysed what would happen if we were able to reduce the commission if the vending machine company did not meet their growth targets. This analysis shows us that if the vending machine company does not meet their targets by 5%, then we're only looking at a $50,000 NPV. However, if we're able to negotiate that if they have not met their growth target, we only pay a 25% commission, then there is a chance that we can still improve our NPV. Our final analysis was used to determine what would happen if we did not expand into Japan or sales were not as high as expected. If we did not expand into Japan at all, we'd still have a positive NPV, although much smaller. Any sales that we would then have would increase the NPV up until the forecast 10 cookies per machine per week.
There are an array of risks that are associated with any new project or venture. In order to make an effective decision on the viability of a project, it is integral to attempt to predict as many risks as possible. As part of this proposal, the team created a risk matrix which covers as many risks as our research could find. From that extensive list, however, there were 3 key risks identified that were critical to the success of the venture. The first of these risks is the reliance on a single distribution or sales channel. The key issue with having a single sales or distribution channel is that the project has no way of offsetting slower than anticipated growth. The sensitivity analysis also shows that our NPV is extremely vulnerable because of this. Should the vending machine company we've chosen to partner with for any reason fail to meet our needs, there will be a serious impact on the NPV and the subsequent success of Doe Ventures. The second key risk is the variance in cost for each type of cookie we offer. Across all the cookies that Doe Ventures offers, there is an additional cost of anywhere between 3 to 21 cents. This cost variance provides significant risk as any consistent preference by consumers towards the costlier cookies will erode the NPV significantly. It is difficult to mitigate this risk without specific market data or further research. And the final key risk we identified is that Doe Ventures has a reliance on a single cookie machine to produce and distribute all the products. Should there be any mechanical or technical failures that take the machine offline for any extended period of time, there will potentially be a significant impact on the NPV and the profitability of the business.
Theoretically, with an NPV of just over $237,000 Australian and an IRR in excess of 37%, the project is viable. However, the team cannot recommend the venture go forward in its current state, as our sensitivity analysis has unveiled too many potential risks to the success of the project. Were the company to identify additional sales channels to overcome the risk associated with a single distribution partner, the team would recommend further investigation into the impacts of sales volume by cookie type and possibly a reformulation of some of the cookie selections in the range to mitigate the risk incurred by the variance in cost between cookie types.